So welcome again. We're in Berlin at the Reuse and Logistics Leadership Days, and like we did with Britta, I took apart the very interesting panelists and somebody from my network in Brussels as well, Fernando Rodríguez-Mata, Director General of New Era, the new European Reuse Alliance. And Fernando, welcome.
Thank you.
I'm very curious how you're experiencing these days in Berlin. And you're going to be going on stage in, I think, an hour or two. So I'm very curious, what are you going to talk about? What's going to be your key message? Of course, everything surrounds reuse here, but I'm really curious how you're going to approach your panel.
Yes, so we want to talk about the PPWR, of course, the famous 4 words we are all talking about these days in Berlin. Enjoying very much with the German reuse ecosystem. It's really great to see how the transport and beverage packaging industry, reusable packaging industry in Germany has been developing and growing over the last decades. And it's very inspiring for other countries and other systems across Europe that we also represent. And that's what we are also here in New Era, listening, learning from the German case and seeing how we can replicate it to other places. And in concrete, the discussion will be indeed how we can create a single market for reuse systems, which still is a bit fragmented, and how the PPWR can enable that.
Yeah. And it was interesting that you mentioned Germany, because indeed we are in Berlin. And I'm just wondering, because in your position, you see a lot of what's happening in the different member states, right? Do you see Germany as a front runner when it comes to reuse, or would you have any other member states that come to mind when I ask that question?
Certainly for transport, reusable transport packaging and beverages, yes, you've been the front runner for a long time now.
Even though I'm Belgian, but...
and in Belgium as well, yes, it's true. Yeah. But I would say for B2C packaging, I think Germany's been kind of passed by other countries. Like we have France with the systems now that are being in place by Citeo, for example, and many other operators for retail, for example, for not only beverages, but other foodstuffs. Denmark in particular is also leading the way for takeaway packaging. We have these iconic examples in Aarhus and in Copenhagen with the citywide systems for collection of beverage cups. So definitely Germany, I would say it's a very good example to look into transport and beverage, but also I would say Germany needs to look at what other countries are doing for other segments.
Okay. Well, that's why we're here as well, right? To learn from each other. And that maybe brings me to my second question. Maybe you answered it already from my perspective, but why you think an event like this is important?
Well, to bring together the whole reuse industry is essential, because those are the moments where we can discuss, change, create synergies, learn from each other. I feel that since COVID, we've been working very much remotely and we don't meet as much as before. So these events are the key kind of lever to move to the next phase, to make reuse advance, to talk to different stakeholders across the value chain, to policymakers, and to make our voice heard at the end, which is what we all want, and that eventually reuse becomes the norm.
Exactly. And I think there's just one more question, a broader question that I want to ask. Of course, we all talk about reuse here, and we talk about how some parts of it are really at scale, others can still scale more. What do you think we would still need to make reuse even more successful? And this can be anything. I know you're more maybe of a policy person, so it could be a policy, but it also could be something completely different that I haven't thought about even.
Well, I think I would say I'm going to go exactly for other things, which is raise awareness about reuse. It's let's say maybe a habit that our old generations had in a new way. Obviously, our lifestyles, our societies have changed. We need to make reuse the new black. We need to make reuse cool for everyone, for consumers, for companies. We need to make it attractive economically to match the environment and the resources and the funding of it. And eventually, if we make that happen, at the end, policies, companies are going to go in the same direction. And then eventually reuse, it will be mainstream, not only in packaging, but even beyond.
Okay. And I think New Era is doing a good job in making it cool. I really love the pin you have on.
Exactly. Yeah. We are a bit, bold organization trying to change a bit the mindset of people. We are this pink, flashy organization, being, of course, professional, backing all our arguments with science and data. but also trying to make it a bit different, a bit cool.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. And then just to conclude, if you'd had to describe these 2 days in one word or a short sentence, how would you do that?
Reuse industry together, we go farther. That's how it goes.
All right, I love it. And yeah, indeed, let's take it even further. Thanks a lot, Fernando.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Bart.